Alright folks, tough conversations are something we all have to have sometime in our life. So, before my pizza arrives, I'm going to tell you some things that I've been using to deal with tough conversations for the past few months because I've certainly had a lot of them and they can probably help you. What's up, Chopsters? Welcome to another installment. So let's get into the first tip of having tough conversations, which is if you're on the receiving end of having a tough conversation, that is not being judgmental. Now, a lot of my family members confide in me and confront me a lot of times as well, and I have the preconceived notion that this family member may be like this or that family member may be like that, but in reality, me being judgmental is what's causing that. So what if I just let my judgment go away? I would probably be more understanding to realize where they're coming from and why they're bringing up that specific scenario with me. So in that case, not being judgmental is important. For example, if there's someone that you have had a certain view of and you judge them in a certain way, when they confront you, you're going to have a judgmental view of it. So giving up judgments during tough conversations is essential, not only to preserve the relationship, but to help the relationship grow over the long term. Number 2, when you are the person confronting the other individual. Now, since you have chosen to practice non-judgment, what you practice, you will also get back in life. So a good way to have a tough conversation is simply to be vulnerable. For example, when I was a kid and I used to get bad grades, I used to lie to my mom and hide it from my mom that I even got the grade and hide the paper on the side. But in reality, if I were vulnerable with my mother and I told her that, hey, I got a grade for this and that reason, I need help. Please help me with this, or I don't understand. Rather than complaining about it or hiding it, I was open about it. And when I'm open about it, people in turn will become compassionate with you. People will see themselves in you. So when you're open, regardless of what the scenario is, whether you're hurt about something, don't hide who you are, because your inauthentic behavior will be evident in the long run. So it's beneficial to be vulnerable. It's beneficial for the other person and yourself to understand each other, and it creates a very good tone for the days to come down the line. So be vulnerable. It's something I still struggle with, but it might help you out if you consider it. Number 3, which is setting boundaries. Now, if you have already not set boundaries in your initial stages of getting to know someone or a relationship and there's no boundaries as per your standards, then when you have that tough conversation, it is good to establish boundaries. Say, this is what I'm looking for. This is a no-go for me. This is a go-go for me. For example, you're annoyed with one of your coworkers that you're taking on most of the work and they're not doing enough of the work. It's good to have a tough conversation and set boundaries. There were sometimes team members that I would always interact with, and if I felt that I was taking on too much work for those team members, I would set boundaries. I would say that these are your expectations and I expect it to be done, and I'm here to support you. So it brings together the judgment and the vulnerability in one, but when you set boundaries, the other individual is in turn going to be more receptive to this tough conversation and act upon what you have shared with them, because you have affirmatively set boundaries and no one can surpass those specific boundaries. Which brings us to the final and 4th one, which is be firm. Once you set boundaries, you can be firm with those boundaries because you are a rock and no one can move you. When you're firm in your view and you know that nothing anyone says can change that, no one will mess with you. For example, if I agree that I have a YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel. If I dilly-dally around the concept that I have a YouTube channel, then people will also dilly-dally around my behavior with the YouTube channel and judge me for it. So when you're firm with someone, whether it's about paying you back, whether it's about meeting deadlines, whether it's a certain trait within a relationship that you don't like, being firm can really help you set the tone, set the boundaries, and set the trajectory for positive growth straight down the future. That being said, I wish you all the best going forward with your tough conversations. I myself am scared and frightened, frankly, to have a lot of them in the future. But I know if I have these in my arsenal, they kind of ease the load of the tough conversation, and I know what I may have done wrong or what I can do right in the future. So thanks for tuning into another video. If you got value, like and subscribe. And as always, comment down below if you want to have a discussion or any questions. More videos coming soon. I'm traveling and a lot of things are changing up in my life, so stay tuned. I'm going to try to make this a balanced channel of little entertainment content, vlogs, and a little bit of what I shared, like these videos which I just stand and talk to the camera like a freaking idiot. Thanks for tuning in, Chopsters, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace! Which brings me to the brand name.